Hi, my name is Chris Beausoleil. It is the 30th of May 2017. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about some more Anglican hacking. The Anglican Church majority owns this building. I talk about it in other videos, and many of the people in this building, I think, well, I know for a fact, they exercise cracking and cracking into people's systems, cracking into people's computers, networks, phones, and practicing surveillance exercises. They have connections to the Australian government. Sorry about the noise. They have, and it's very clear to me after living here for 4 years that the Australian government uses them as a pool of not directly. I mean, it's not like this is all on record or anything. Use them as a pool of talent to draw from it. That the Anglican Church provides talent and a pool of people that have skills in accessing, cracking, and surveying systems. So I think it's been going on for a long time, and of course it's not going to be legit, but it's definitely there, and I definitely see a relationship between the Anglican Church and the Australian government, like a church-state relationship. I think they get help from by utilizing Australian government resources as well, and surveillance resources, cybersecurity resources, etc., etc. So, like for example, every single computer that we've had has been cracked. Every single phone that we've had has been cracked. And this phone, this ZTE that I'm talking about right now, it's been cracked. So I've talked about before how they utilize, this phone, whether it's by design or whether the Anglicans have configured it that way, when the radio turns on, when I turn the radio on, UpgradeSys turns on, and UpgradeSys also has a backdoor, the ADAPS firmware over the air FOTA backdoor. And I think that they use UpgradeSys to upgrade the phone's applications, and then when the phone turns back on, all the systems are lost, or all the evidence is just lost. So UpgradeSys uses accesses this phone applications or resources, and then upgrades the software to suit their agenda and to suit their purpose. So there's several things that engage, like often EAS services and UpgradeSys and Launcher. So I'm going to go show you that. But the other thing that I noticed is that I recently did a video about how they access my Gmail. So I use a browser to access my Gmail. All my Gmail apps are turned off, and yet they still access. And yet there's Gmail record still shows a mobile app accessing my Gmail account. So a mobile app is accessing the Gmail account using my IP address. Since I go through a VPN, ExpressVPN, they are accessing my ExpressVPN with their mobile app and then accessing my account to make it look like I am accessing my account with an application, an Android application in this case, because this is an Android phone, and a browser. I am only accessing my account with my browser. There's no application on my phone that's running unless they're running it behind the scenes and I can't see it because I haven't rooted my phone. Or, like, what I think is happening is that they have my phone cloned and they have a system next door or close by that runs my phone, and then my phone connects to it and then connects to the internet. My phone connects to their system and then connects to the internet through their system, which is a clone of my phone somehow, or something similar. So I'm going to go show you, since I'm here right now, I'm going to go show you logging into or turning my radio on, how it triggers, since I'm here already. Okay, so I pulled over to my applications in my settings, and you can see UpgradeSys is turned off and it's not populated. I'm going to run up, and I'm going to show the other one that usually populates. I've done this in another video, but I'll quickly show you here. Launcher. So it also is turned off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on my radio, and you'll see that the radio populates UpgradeSys. Okay, so UpgradeSys There it is, and it should come up with 92 kilobytes. There are 92 kilobytes, and it's started. So it's triggered to start, and it's triggered to have 92 kilobytes. Now I don't know what the 92 kilobytes is. I'm guessing it's a configuration file of some sort. So, and also let's go look at Exchange services. So Exchange services also started. We'll turn it off. Now we're going to go down to launcher. And it was triggered as well. So we're going to turn all that off, and then I'm just going to quickly run over here to my ExpressVPN account, which is turned off now, and it has 400 kilobytes. And I'm going to start it. So I'm going to launch it. This takes usually a while, so it'll just be a second here. So what I think is happening is they're using UpgradeSys to populate or to reconfigure my ExpressVPN, and it reconfigures it to allow them access, I think, or something similar. I don't know because I don't have my phone rooted, so I can't see what's happening. So my system, the system's on, it's got 400 kilobytes. I'm gonna clear the cache. So let's go back here, and then we'll go down to UpgradeSys. It's populated, see? So turning on my ExpressVPN turned on my UpgradeSys. And it also turns on, remember I cleared EAS services. It also engages EAS services. Remember I turned it off? It'll be turned on. See? It engages that. And I think they use Exchange services to pass information to and from the phone, I think. And then launcher, it should not, I don't think launcher is not triggered. So turning on the ExpressVPN does not trigger launcher. So turning on my radio, turning off my radio triggers UpgradeSys. Turning on my radio triggers UpgradeSys and launcher, and then turning on ExpressVPN triggers UpgradeSys. Now every time I turn on UpgradeSys, turn on my ExpressVPN and UpgradeSys is triggered, what happens is my ExpressVPN data goes up. So here it's 400. Okay, can you hear the neighbors? That's the neighbors walking down the stairs. So when I clear the data, or when I start it up, lots of times, almost all the time, it'll start up the UpgradeSys, and then my data will increase on ExpressVPN, and then my ExpressVPN starts acting wonky. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So I think what they're doing is they're loading configuration files into my ExpressVPN, and it's a configuration file to allow them to access my ExpressVPN, and then have access to all the data that is going through my internet connection. So they're monitoring my internet connection, and then they're saying, well, how can we do it? We can't. You're using a VPN. How can we do it? How can we possibly do it? You're in a VPN. So another thing that I think they're doing is they're using EAS to transport, to move data to and from my system. Yeah, someone just is pouting over there. Yeah, see? Can you hear them? They're pouting. So when I get up in the middle of the night, they get up. Yeah, it's outside my door. Okay, so that's what's happening right here. And I think what they're doing is they're accessing my phone remotely, and then they're using UpgradeSys. They're using UpgradeSys to change my system, to configure my system, and in this case, they're configuring my ExpressVPN, and I also think that they configure other applications as well, probably. And if I could root my phone, I think I might be able to see these things, but I don't want to root my phone because then they'll just turn around and say, well, your phone's rooted. Anyone could have done it. So this is an extremely high like level hacking or cracking, and it's being done by Anglican Bible College students. The guy next door is doing exactly what the person did before. Now, it might not be him. He could just be like a red herring to draw my attention because he's acting just like the douchebag that was there before. Um, Games foolfully. And this foolfully guy, he did exactly the same thing. I'd get up in the morning and he would get up, and then I would notice my phone acting wonky, or it would heat up, or it would restart, or my ExpressVPN would restart. Now, another thing that I've noticed is that with this, see the little lock there shows ExpressVPN, but my ExpressVPN will always turn off. So they'll remotely turn off my ExpressVPN. They'll turn it off remotely. And when they turn my ExpressVPN off remotely, what happens is when I turn it back on, it engages the UpgradeSys. So it's all automated. So they force me to turn it back on by turning it off. And then it's reconfigured and upgraded. Now, as soon as that happens, my phone acts like crap. My internet speed goes down. My connections aren't connecting. I'm getting timeouts on web pages, and it just runs like shit. So I think what is happening is that they also remotely turn off my ExpressVPN, forcing me to turn it on. And then when I turn my ExpressVPN on, they UpgradeSys is triggered, and this way they can say we never did nothing because it's all automated. We never did nothing, and that's their whole point, is to cover up their crimes. Everything they do is very passive and very tricky and very deceitful. They say we never deleted any files. They zero the files out. If you ask them, did you zero any files out? They'll say they won't answer. They'll just grin. They'll just give you that Anglican grin, and they'll just look away and won't answer. So they do things so that they can have deniability, and so that they can say, I never did it. I never did it. Somebody else did it, or something else did it. Well, of course it did it, because they configured the system to do it. Now, if you ask them, did you configure my system to reconfigure when I restarted my ExpressVPN, they won't answer that question. They'll just stay silent. So I think that it's the Anglican students and their friends. There's another guy in this building that works with them and does their dirty deeds, and he's got a stepson. He works with them, I think. And so I think it's like a little collaboration within this building, and the property manager, Anglican property manager, kind of runs the show. And I think that this building here is used as a mini laboratory to see what they can get away with, and then they run to their politician friends and say, do this, do this, do this, and we can get away with this and this and this. So I